Jurassic animals. Jurassic land animals. Although dinosaurs such as Allosaurus, Diplodocus and Stegosaurus ruled the land during the Jurassic period, they were by no means the only Jurassic animals. Jurassic land reptiles. Crocodilomorpha. The archosaurs were a group of reptiles that first appeared in the Triassic period. The group split into two branches: the Pseudosuchians and the branch that produced both the dinosaurs and the pterosaurs. Although the Pseudosuchians dominated during the Triassic period, the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event killed off many of their number, leaving only the Crocodilomorpha, a group of crocodile-like reptiles. This allowed the dinosaurs to become the dominant land predators of the Jurassic period. Although the Pseudosuchians no longer ruled the land, they didn't disappear entirely. They were, after all, the ancestors of today's crocodiles. During the Jurassic period, however, the early crocodiles were restricted to an aquatic lifestyle, and were found in both freshwater and marine habitats. Protosuchus. Protosuchus was a crocodilomorph, an early ancestor of today's crocodiles, that lived during the early Jurassic period. 1 meter, 3.3 feet, in length, Protosuchus had armored skin and powerful jaws, just like a modern crocodile. Unlike a modern crocodile, however, it stood further off the ground, on straight, rather than sprawled, legs. This suggests that it may have hunted on land, and had not become fully aquatic. Metriorhynchus. With the dinosaurs becoming the dominant meat-eaters on land, several early crocodiles took to the oceans in order to survive. Metriorhynchus was one such crocodilomorph. Specimens of this marine crocodile have been found in England, France and Germany. Metriorhynchus was highly adapted to a marine existence, with paddle-like hands and feet, and a fish-like tail. It was around 3 meters, 10 feet, in length, and preyed on fish and cephalopods such as ammonites. Rhynchocephalia. Rhynchocephalia is a branch of lizard-like reptiles that first appeared in the Triassic period. In the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods they became widespread. Today only one species remains: the tuatara, which is found in New Zealand. Pleurosaurus. Pleurosaurus was an aquatic member of Rhynchocephalia that lived in the late Jurassic. It was a long, thin reptile, reaching around 1.5 meters, 4.9 feet, in length. Its hands and feet had evolved into paddles with which it propelled itself through the water in pursuit of its fish prey. Testudinata, turtles. Testudinata is the branch of reptiles that includes the turtles and their prehistoric relatives. The first turtles appeared in the Triassic period. Kayentacelles. Kayentacelles was a turtle that lived during the early Jurassic. Specimens of this early turtle have been found in the Kayenta Formation in Arizona. Schemata. Schemata is the reptilian branch that includes lizards and snakes. The first lizards appeared in the early Jurassic, but snakes wouldn't appear until the Cretaceous period. Ardiosaurus. Ardiosaurus was an early lizard whose fossilized remains were discovered in Jurassic rocks in Germany. It is thought to be one of the first known geckos. It was around 20 centimeters, 7.9 in length. Ardiosaurus's large eyes suggest that it may have been nocturnal. Jurassic amphibians. Amphibians evolved from fish way back in the Devonian period, millions of years before the start of the Jurassic period. Due in part to their reliance on water in order to reproduce, amphibians were outcompeted by both the reptiles and early ancestors of mammals in the Mesozoic era. The Jurassic period saw the appearance of all three of the modern amphibian groups: Anura, frogs and toads; Caudata, salamanders; and Gymnophiona, caecilians. Procelerus. Procelerus is one of the earliest known true frogs. Only 3 specimens have been found of this early Jurassic amphibian, all of which were discovered in Arizona. Procelerus had many frog-like characteristics, including hind legs that were adapted for jumping and the absence of a tail. Carorus. Carorus is one of the earliest known salamanders. A specimen found in Kazakhstan is the first and only example of this Jurassic amphibian. Carorus was around 19 centimeters, 7.5 in length. It had a wide head and short body, and may have preyed on aquatic invertebrates. Jurassic pterosaurs. Pterosaurs are flying reptiles that first appeared during the Triassic period, after having branched off from the line of reptiles that would become the dinosaurs. Dimorphodon. Dimorphodon was a small pterosaur that lived in the early Jurassic in what is now England. Its name means 2 types of teeth. The name refers to the 2 types of teeth present in Dimorphodon's beaked mouth, which contained 30 to 40 small, pointed teeth and around 4 larger fang-like front teeth. Dimorphodon had a body length of around 1 meter, 3.3 feet, and a wingspan of around 1.45 meters, 4.75 feet. Its large head accounted for a quarter of its total body length, but its jaws were relatively weak. For this reason, it is likely that Dimorphodon hunted insects or small vertebrates. Pterodactylus. Pterodactylus was the first pterosaur to have been identified as a flying reptile. Its name means wing finger. As with all pterosaurs, Pterodactylus has an elongated 4th finger that supports the wing. Pterodactylus had a wingspan of around 2.5 meters, 8 feet. Most specimens have been found in Germany. Because Pterodactylus is one of the best-known pterosaurs, the word pterodactyl is sometimes, incorrectly, used to refer to all pterosaurs. Jurassic cephalopods. Cephalopods, the group of mollusks that includes animals such as octopuses, squid and nautiluses, first appeared in the late Cambrian, hundreds of millions of years prior to the start of the Jurassic period. The Jurassic period saw the appearance of the first squid. Cylindroteuthis. Belemnites were large, squid-like animals that first appeared in the late Triassic. Cylindroteuthis was a large Jurassic belemnite. It had 10 arms and was equipped with an ink sac, an adaptation still seen in today's cephalopods. Cylindroteuthis was found in many parts of the world, and is a common fossil in Jurassic rock formations. Jurassic arthropods. Arthropods are invertebrate animals with hard exoskeletons and segmented bodies. The group includes animals such as insects, crustaceans and arachnids. New insect groups to appear in the Jurassic period include butterflies and moths, order Lepidoptera, snakeflies, order Rhaphidioptera, and mantid flies, family Mantispidae. Crustaceans that appeared in the Jurassic period include crabs and shrimps. Mesolimulus. Today's horseshoe crabs have changed little from their ancestors, which include the Jurassic arthropod Mesolimulus. In fact, horseshoe crabs first appeared in the Ordovician period, hundreds of millions of years before the Jurassic period. Mesolimulus, which was around 8 centimeters, 3.15 in diameter. Like modern horseshoe crabs, it had a long spine-like tail called a telson, which was around the same length as the body. Specimens of Mesolimulus have been found in Germany, Spain and Russia. Libellulium. Dragonflies first appeared in the Carboniferous period, long before the start of the Jurassic period. Although the huge dragonflies of the Paleozoic era, some of which had wingspans of up to 75 centimeters, 30 in, had disappeared by the beginning of the Mesozoic era, dragonflies were still buzzing around in the Jurassic period. Libellulium was a Jurassic dragonfly. It had a wingspan of around 14 centimeters, 5.5 in. It is in the same family as the giant dragonfly, Pedalora gigantea, a species found today in Australia and one of the world's largest living dragonflies. Jurassic mammals. The first true mammals appeared in the late Triassic. It is thought that due to the presence of the dinosaurs, the mammals of the Mesozoic era were nocturnal. This gave rise to a number of mammalian characteristics, such as acute senses and hair. Cenoconodon. Cenoconodon was a small, shrew-like animal that lived in what is now China during the early Jurassic. This 30 centimeters, 12 in, animal had powerful jaws and may have preyed on insects and small vertebrates. It is one of the earliest known of all mammals. Megazostrodon. Megazostrodon was a shrew-like animal that appeared in the late Triassic period and survived to the early Jurassic. It had enough mammalian characteristics to be considered one of the earliest known mammals. This 5 inches, 12 centimeters, long, furry animal lived in what is now southern Africa. It was probably nocturnal, having a large brain that allowed it to process nighttime sounds and smells.